Okay. Live. I think. I think we're live. Regardless, the team will cut this first part off anyway. The people watching live will have to watch this.
There's always like this little pause and a stall that comes in.
Yeah, I mean, people are getting used to that now. Like they know that I'm going to check the group to make sure that we're live, just to for quality control.
See, everything's a program, Ian. Everything's a program. Now it's it's the habit that's been set.
It's a habit that's been set. Yes. I can't. The group's not coming up, but you know what? It is what it is. Welcome, Flip Trader Group. Eventually, I'm going to find this inside the group. I know we're live because it says live. So today, back with our group expert, Jan, and we're going to be talking about the relationship with money, because there's one thing that stops investors from reaching their fullest potential or building their business to the fullest potential, is that inner dialogue about money. And yeah, it's systems and processes and that kind of stuff. Remember, the line we drop every time on this is your business grows to the extent that you do. And if your relationship with money is one of scarcity, or one where your parents taught you that rich people are bad, or that, easy money's easy money, easily lost, or whatever that program is, it is hindering you. And it's not necessarily stopping you from making money. It is a massive amount of resistance that you do not need. And that resistance is hindering you, maybe not from making money, or maybe not from making tons of money, because maybe you're muscling and hustling and forcing that. You're not in your true power to let money flow. Would you agree with that?
100%. And when we don't really shift our vibrations and the way our relationship is with money, when we don't shift it, we can really, really receive a lot of money, but it will flow out and still make us feel empty. Right. So there's a whole definition behind wealth, and money is just a small portion of it. Right. And what is the money being used for? So we're going to get into that today. It's going to be very exciting.
Take it away.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the amazing introduction. I love this topic. I love this topic because it's a topic that not a lot of people like to discuss. And yet I believe that money is so important. It's not everything, but it's so important because I believe that it is your rightful duty to become as rich as possible. And the reason why is because money will actually amplify you and magnify you. So people that are driven to do good things, money will just give you more resources to make more impact and live the life of your dreams. And that's truly how we change the world. Right? The more that we can increase that imagination and allow money to fund the lives that we want to have, wow, it creates that ripple effect for everyone that's around us. So 3 things that we're going to go over today. Number 1, what is money? Number 2, where do we want our relationship to be with money? And number 3, which I believe is also very, very important to understand, where is your current relationship with money and where did it come from? Just like Ian was talking about at the very beginning of the conversation, it's so important to understand our relationship with money. Right? And do our belief systems serve us to where we're going, or is it suppressing us from where we want to go? So we're going to kick it right off. So number 1, what is money? Money's just energy. And energy is vibration, which is frequency. And if you think about it, all money does, it's just a tool that actually compresses data and time. And if we really think about it, back in the days before money was formed, everybody used to be on a barter system, right? They used to have a lot of conversations as to, let me, trade you some peas for some lettuce or whatever that looked like, right? There was a bartering system. There was a lot of conversation that took place. It really went into what's your value? What is that worth? Well, how much of this for that, right? And what money does, it actually compresses that. It compresses the data and time to have an exchange of goods and services. Right? So we have to fall in love with what the money is used for, and understanding that the purpose of money is to create currency, right? The definition of currency, to flow. So money should flow in and it should flow out. And when we actually fall in love with what the money is used for versus the money itself, then we can really, really start living the life that we want to and start leveraging money as a tool to fund the life of our dreams, to create the life that we want to. And I know I said this many times in the past coming in here. I love people that get into real estate. I love investors. And we get into real estate because we want to use that as a vehicle to fund our life. And it is proven that the 1%ers of the world are all somehow, some way, in shape or form involved in some form of real estate. So it's the most amazing vehicle. But understand what money is. It's just energy, which is frequency. And you've heard these stories before. You hear of stories that people that won the lottery, right? And they come across a lot of money, or people that launched successful business and they received a lot of money. But over time, their natural programs kick in. Their actual belief system around money and their relationship and their vibration around money comes back to the surface, which is why most people go back to where they started from. They go back to where they started from. So if we don't make the shifts inside of us, then the outside of us may shift for a little bit, but it will always reverse back to our natural programming. So understand this, right? If we understand that money is just energy, which is frequency, then just like a cell phone, right? In order for me to connect with someone on the phone, I have to call that number and get on the same frequency with the other individual that I want to connect with. It works the same way with money. Ask yourself, how much money do you want to earn, right? We don't make money. Making money is done by the presses or whatnot, the money mill. We earn and receive money. And we actually earn and receive money in correlation to the value that we provide. I actually have a program called the Money Manifestation Mastery Program, and it really goes over this in detail, because if you think about it, so many people have been programmed to believe that money will equal success. So if they chase money, they will receive success. But the formula is actually backwards. When we actually find success, money comes to us. And the definition that I love about success, one that Earl Nightingale uses, success is a progressive realization towards a worthy ideal. So let that sink in. When you can create an image of what you want to utilize real estate for and the people that it serves, including yourself, and you have that image and you're progressively realizing that goal coming towards you, right? You're using your body as an instrument of your mind to create the progressive realization towards a worthy ideal. Well, then you're in the energy of success. And then success equals money. You will attract more money and more opportunities as you progressively realize your goal, right? Getting into alignment with your goal. So again, ask yourself, how much money do you want to earn? How much money do you want to earn in a given year? Create a goal. And just like we talked about, your entire body is like a GPS system. You need to know where you want to go, and you need to know where you're at. And then the GPS will take you there. It will give you detours along the way. But as long as you can lean forward with faith, knowing that you're progressively realizing towards your goal, it will get you to your destination. So how much money do you
Hey,
want to earn in a
Jan,
given year, right?
do me a
How
favor
much
real quick.
money?
Will you close that curtain behind you?
Oh, yes.
I think it's getting too much light from the back. Yeah, there we go. That's perfect.
I'm in a hotel room. Let me move my desk maybe. I can't move the hotel. There we go.
Yeah. Now you have it's way better color. Okay, good. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Where was I? Right. Getting into alignment with where you want to go. So have a destination. How much money do you want to earn in a given year? And then most importantly, get into the feeling of that. Why do you want to earn that? What does that look like for you? What type of lifestyle are you living? How do you speak? How do you talk? Who's in your environment? Right. Get into the feeling of it, because the feeling is the secret. So keep that in mind, right? And money is energy, which is vibration, which is frequency. So when you can get onto the same frequency of the money that you desire as it exists now, people, places, and opportunities will show up into your world. Show up into your world. See, most people that think like a $50,000 earner have a hard time thinking like a $100,000 earner. But the people that earn $1 million have a hard time thinking like a $100,000 earner. So getting into the mindset of how much do you want to earn and what do you have to think, feel, and act, right? What's your attitude towards that? The second thing that I want to discuss is, okay, where do you want to be? We're just kind of getting into that. Get really, really clear what you're using money for. Get into it. Remember what we talked about before as well. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between experienced reality and imagined reality. right? But you will literally create in your world any energy that you give more and more attention to. So if you're feeling in lack, you will attract lack. If you're feeling in abundance, you will attract abundance. So get into that imagination state of, where do I want to be? How do I want my life to be? And how can I use real estate as a vehicle that's going to fund my life to get there? And the clearer that you can get into that image, the more clarity that you're going to have as you attract these opportunities around you. Everything in the world exists twice. It exists in our imagination, and then it comes into reality. So get really clear on where you want to go. Set that goal, set that destination, and stay in relationship with it. A goal is literally like a destination, and it's a relationship. We have to get emotionally involved. And so many people will set a goal, but then they shelf it. They don't visit the goal. Well, how do you grow that relationship when you're not emotionally attached to it? So focus on your goal every day. Create a system around it, right? I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm attracting so much abundance around me. I attract deals every single day, because whatever you believe is literally what you're going to receive. So if you believe you're going to attract deals, there's so many people right now living in fear, thinking that they can't attract opportunities. There's no money. And then you have the other side of the coin, where people are finding opportunities more than they've ever found it before, right? And it's because of their underlying belief system. So create a system around that, asking yourself, what type of belief system do you want to have around the goal that you want to seek? And then create that system and do the work, right? It's all about spaced repetition. It's getting it into the cells of your body. It's not just about understanding in the conscious mind. Our conscious mind is our filtering mind. It can filter things. It can understand a lot of things. But in order to actually live it out, it has to go into our subconscious mind as a programming, or the beliefs in our subconscious, like the cells of our body. The last thing I want to talk about, which I truly believe is so, so important. What is our current relationship with money? And where did it come from? And ask yourself those things. When you come across opportunities, are you thinking more of the reasons why you can't? Or are you thinking the possibilities of you can? When you start shopping around, do you feel like you can't afford it? Or you find ways that you're going to afford it? It literally is these small little things that we can be aware of. So then we can make a decision that we no longer want to live in lack, and we want to be aligned with abundance. And then create the habits around them. I think we talked about the bracelet thing here on one of the previous calls, but have a bracelet on your arm, so that every time that you have a thought that doesn't serve you, you can snap it, bring it onto the other side, and create the polarity statement of it, the polar opposite statement. And the reason why I say that is, if you can become aware as to the thoughts that are serving you and not serving you, then you can make some decisions and create habits around that. Because we do not create our future. It's our decisions and habits that do. And ask yourself, where does your belief system come from? And if we really think about it, people have been living in fight or flight for so long. So a lot of that program, resides in us. But we don't have to live in, fight or flight anymore. We can live from the point of creation, point of abundance. And when you look around at all the things that do exist out there, there are so many opportunities for you to be a solution provider, providing value and service, so that you can actually be in that mode of success and attracting more money than your imagination can allow. You just have to believe in it. And the way you believe in it is by putting your focused energy into the belief. All a belief system is an idea that we continuously give energy to. And what's really wild, when you really do this exercise and go deep into your personal development, you will realize so many belief systems that are actually limiting you, That's why they're called limiting belief systems. And you, as a human, have a superpower to create any belief system that you want to. There's an amazing author named Jordan Peterson that talks about this. He literally pauses at every sentence or statement that he hears, just to pause and say, do I want to adopt that belief system or not? That's how powerful we are. See, I didn't realize so many belief systems that I had for so long that were given to me by people that I love, right? I adopted their fears, their traumas, their suffering. And when I became aware that those programs were operating me, then it was easier for me to make a decision saying, I don't want that to operate. Now, I believe in savings, but the belief around savings actually held me back for so long because I come from a world where, I have to share with you, like, my mother would literally use a Bounty towel 6 times before we were allowed to throw it away. So she really believed in saving. And it really helped to get us to where we are, where we came from, but it no longer served to where we're going and where we want to go. So I had this mindset around savings. I kid you not, I went to so many different investor groups. I took so many other investors out to luncheons and dinners to pick their brains on why it was beneficial for me to use other people's money and leverage other people's money. Because it didn't make sense to me because I had my own capital. But boy, oh boy, once I understood it, that it literally is all about leveraging and leveraging other people's money, the doors of opportunity start to open up bigger than I could even imagine. Right. The minute that I was able to lend out my money for someone else's opportunity, and when I attracted an opportunity to be able to co-create and to really go into joint venture partnerships with other people, it created more opportunities, right, for me to receive more money, as well as building more relationships and learning more about myself, learning more about my risk factor, what I do like, what I don't like. This whole journey of life is about self-awareness. It's about growing. And remember, we talked about this as well. And I'm going to keep reiterating some of these points because they're really, really powerful. You can never get it done. You can never get it wrong because you can never get it done. You can never get it wrong because you can never get it done. The only time you fail is when you give up on yourself. But it is through the little failures towards your goals that help strengthen you, to expand you on who you're becoming, and giving you clarity more on what you want, and start ordering in the priorities that things show up in your life. So when we can pay attention and not react to the outer world, and understanding that everything is energy and that everything is inside of us, and the power is about becoming more and more aware, then life becomes simple, because then we can move forward in life through faith. And I kid you not when I say this, there is nothing more powerful than living life in faith through study and understanding. Through study and understanding. So those are the 3 things that I wanted to talk about money for you to get into relationship with it. Understand that money is just energy. It's energy, which is vibration and frequency. So get into the frequency and align yourself to where you want to go. Take the time to ask yourself where you want to go. How much money do you want to earn, and why, and what that looks like for you? And then become real with where you are at. Become real with where you are at. What is your current relationship with money? With zero judgment. With zero judgment. Where did those programs come from? And then, do I want those belief systems? Or did they serve me to where I am, and now I can release it? Forgiving others for where they were at, because everybody does the best that they can with the level of awareness. Forgiving myself for the decisions that I made, because I did the best that I can. And then moving forward, understanding that you are the powerful creator, and you can create any future that you want to through decisions and habits, and increasing your awareness.
So good. For those of you that are new
Simple,
here,
but
yeah,
so powerful.
yeah. For those of you that are new here, we have a bunch of new people watching. Yana's our resident mindset expert. That's why you're going to get this every single week. And before I want to give you some questions that the audience was asking. Before I do that, I want to let you know that we're about to roll out something for more, because a lot of our members have asked for more. They want more, the ability to be on live with you, the ability to have more from these type of trainings. So we've got that rolling out. It's going to be our Flip Trader membership program, and it's going to be very, very yes inducing. I'll just put it that way. It'll be very yes inducing and very valuable, to where you can be on here in a small group with Jan and have highly concentrated information going to you and be able to get feedback instantly. So stay tuned for that. So Mark Anthony Davis was asking, how do you overcome checking your bank account syndrome, which is just a scarcity or a fear-based mindset, right? So what are your thoughts on that?
I say create a system around that, because again, everything is habits. And if you're really we actually call it the bank account or the report card syndrome, right? People have dedicated, like, literally, we've been programmed to look at our report card to dictate whether we're smart or not. We've
Yeah.
been literally, programmed to look at our bank account to actually evaluate our value.
Yeah.
But your past does not dictate your future. Your past does not have to dictate where you are going. So create a system. And I'm not saying be ignorant and be stupid about it, but create a system around it. Maybe it's once a month that you're looking at your bank account. Maybe you have a budget. And I tell people, create a monthly budget on the lifestyle you currently have, not on what you're going to reduce your expenses on. Because,
Right.
and what I mean by that is so many people are like, oh, I will stop going out to eat. I will stop doing this. Well, guess what? That energy comes from lack. So stop focusing on the things that you don't want to do will actually create more opportunities of lack for you. Now, I'm not saying be dumb about it. If you have subscription to things that you no longer use, get rid of it.
Yeah.
But if there are things that you like and you enjoy, do not eliminate out of your life, but create a monthly budget so you kind of have an idea as to what your monthly expenses are. Right? You know what your monthly expenses are, but you don't have to limit yourself and continuously check. But can you imagine if you spent the same amount of energy checking your bank account to the same amount of energy into the creation of earning money and providing value?
Oh,
because
huge.
the energy will flow to where your focus goes, Mark, right? And everybody else that's listening. So it's all about creating that system. And if you find yourself going back into your bank account, that's just a poor habit. Looking back into our future to dictate where we are going. Don't let it control you. Come from the point of creation. Be aware, right? Be aware this is where I'm at. This is where I want to go. This is how much I want to earn. But create a system around that. And then this is where it really boils down to, because this is a life journey, self-discipline. Once you create the system, it's disciplining yourself so that you're following the system that you created. And that is everything. And the reason why that is everything is because when you show up for yourself, when you start saying that you're going to do something, you show up, it's literally the highest integrity that you can have for yourself. And when you start showing up in that way, it's like the higher self, the universe, your higher consciousness, God, whatever you want to believe in, starts rewarding you, because it's like you're actually doing the things that you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Right? It is so powerful.
So in the beginning, I was talking about even people that are crushing it and making a lot of money, there's still this mindset of, oh, I could lose it. And there's still this identity around, if I don't have the money. I mean, I had that in my previous life, where kind of like Mark was saying, if my bank account had a certain number in it, it made me feel approved and appreciated and valuable. That was my identity. And if my bank account dropped below, I mean, I would have full out panic attacks. And to anybody in the world, the amount of money that if I told you what it was in my bank account and I was having a panic attack getting close to it, you'd be like, are you out of your freaking mind, dude? That's a shit ton of money. Some people don't make that in 2 years. But to me, my identity was so hooked to that money and what it created for me on the outside as an optic of the person that I was, that it took so much for me to shift that and find me. So I want to get your opinion. How does somebody who's really doing well right now financially, but they're not aligned on those other pieces, right? Like one of the Flip Trader pillars is having a balanced life between your personal and your professional, giving yourself the time that you need, finding those hobbies, working on your business in flow, not in cranking and crushing and grinding, which is resistance. So how does somebody go from, okay, I'm making a shit ton of money, however, I'm really afraid to step off that because I don't know who I'm going to be if I don't have this. Am I going to be okay? Are my friends going to like me? How does someone start to make that transition?
It's such a powerful question. I've worked with a lot of clients and still work with a lot of clients that make a lot of money, right? 7 digits and more, and they attract so much wealth and they still feel that hole. They still feel that hole. And where does it show up? It shows up in chaotic relationships. It shows up in health, sicknesses. And guess what? You actually attract more opportunities to lose money and live in chaos because of that energy of fear, right? And it's so true. Lack is not what's in your bank account. It's a vibrational energy, right? Feeling lack and not worthy. So how do you make that shift? First and foremost, be aware of it, right? Be aware that that's exactly how you're feeling. And your entire outer world is an expression of your inner world. So what can you do? It's little things like we even talked about, creating a system to show up for you. Right? Those individuals start prioritizing what matters the most, understanding that the money does not actually dictate what you are.
Yeah.
at all. And if you can actually increase what you are and who you are, you will actually overflow in more money, help more people, be of more service, not just to the entire, world around you, but to the people that matter the most around you, to the people that matter the most. Because most people that are doing this unconscious competently, that make a lot of money, they're really great at imagining a vision or something towards building a business that other people can't see. So it's like an unconscious competent thing. They build massive businesses, they make lots of money, but they don't use that same imagination and that same vision towards their life and their balance of, how do I want my marriage to look like?
Yeah.
What do I want my relationship with my children to look like? And even more important, what do I want my relationship with myself to look like? It's wild how so many people are afraid to be by themselves because they don't like themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. The money fills a void.
It fills a void, and they will chase and do so many things and not be still. So I haven't even exercised, and it's wild. And I got to tell you, I learned the hard way. Like, it was so difficult for me to sit by myself with no thought for like 30 seconds. When someone said do it for 3 minutes, I was like, oh, I can do that easy. Oh, holy shit.
Super tough.
Yes. Super tough. It was like, wait a minute, I can't do it for 30 seconds. But it's a muscle. Once you become aware, then you can create a system around it. Right.
Yeah.
And the spaced repetition, now you can grow it. Now I love being still. I love even beyond meditation, that just stillness meditation, connection to earth, and you're allowing my sensory factors to just connect with everything. It's wild, but it takes practice, and it's literally the most important thing that you can do, because you will learn so much about yourself. And I love this quote, and I'm gonna I don't remember exactly who said it, but I'm sure a lot of people that are listening will know, right? Your gift from God is more talent and abilities than you'll ever use in your lifetime. And your gift to God is to utilize as much of those gifts and talents as you can in this lifetime. And let me share with you, you have more gifts and talents inside of you that you can't even tap into the surface of, even if you focused it for your entire lifetime. That's how gifted you are. Just have to believe that. Yeah. See, I'm a huge believer that every human on this planet has genius inside of them that is irreplaceable. And they have an expression inside of them, the truth that needs to be expressed. And when you get into alignment of that truth and expression, wow, not only do you get to live your best life ever, but you actually create a ripple effect, and you start literally changing the world of everyone around you.
Something that I was challenged with building my business, maybe 10 years ago, my real estate sales business, and then getting into investing, was I was really confused. And I want the group, anybody that's watching, so which you have a ton of people watching, there's a lot of new people. So thank you for being new and in here and just downloading this information that you have to spit out. The thing that I was challenged with and I didn't understand at the time was, how am I so good? Somebody's going to be like, oh my God, he's speaking right to me. How was I so good at what I did in my professional world, yet I couldn't figure out how to transfer it to my personal world? And that's something that you touched on earlier. Like, how can I negotiate these multi-million-dollar contracts and deals and build this business and talk this guy into doing this for me and helping me over here and these people to work for me? And how can I build all of this at such a high successful level? Financially, by the way, the only measurement I had back then was, is it making a lot of money? Because if it's not, then Ian is not worthy, right? That's it. That's right. Back then. But like, how do I transfer the fact that I can negotiate heavily, or I'm really good at what I do with systems and processes, to my personal life at home, in my marriage, for me personally, in my friendships, in my family relationships? Why was that not just as transferable as you think it would be? Like, is there a teleporter in your car that you lose all of your skill and talent professionally when you leave an office or walk into your house? And I was really confused, and I was frankly very angry about that. I'm like, how can I negotiate these giant deals, but I can't negotiate to get out of doing dishes, or little things like that? And those little things were a massive detractor in my marriage, or a massive stuck point, even though they were so small. And what I found was my mindset around those small things, when it shifted to understanding how my wife felt about them, and how I had more empathy and understanding for her, things started getting better. And really, it started at home. And that's why we do this stuff on the personal level, because then once it started getting better at home, I started taking that understanding of others' feelings and empathy and active listening into my employees, and my business started getting better, and I started being less stressed. And then I had the space to start working on my relationship with money.
It's huge. It's so powerful. So one of the things, that paradigms that I would love for everybody to jump on board with, right? If you think about the natural paradigm that exists in America, you're born, you go to school, you go to college, you get a job, right? You get a job, you retire, and then you hope to travel and enjoy life, right? All of these paradigms as a norm exist. What would it look like, right? What would it look like if the norm was to have multiple coaches? Have courses that actually help you move forward in place, join masterminds and communities with like-minded individuals. That should become the norm, because when I started to invest in myself, like, think about it, right? Athletes, actors and actresses, everybody has multiple coaches that they work with, right? And that's the thing. The reason why coaches are so beneficial is because they can help see a blind spot that you may not normally be able to see. Number one. Number two, you can fast track by adopting onto their belief system and connecting energetically with people. So there's a statement that I love. You have to do it by yourself, but you cannot do it alone, right? We're all connected as one. So what I mean by that is you have to make the decision to do the work, right? That's by yourself, right? But you can't do it alone, which is exactly why hiring coaches, courses, masterminds, connecting with others to connect with that energy of people that are living the lifestyle that you want, right? And again, I share this with all of my students and people that, have other coaches. You don't have to love everything about that particular coach, right? Sure. And that's why we talked about this last time about self-image. Take the people that you look up to, but take the characteristics that you love about them. And if you find something that you don't love about them, but you love one thing, don't disregard the whole person as an entity and say, oh, that person sucks. Take the characteristics you love, harvest the good, forgive the rest. And you can now take those components. And the real truth behind that is you're learning your truth, what resonates with you. Because my truth is not going to align 100% with your truth. We may have a lot of parallels and correlations, but at the end of the day, I want people to realize how powerful they are and tap into what is truth for them, understanding that they can create any belief system and live anything that they want to in any lifestyle. But the most important thing is getting into alignment with you and being authentic with your authentic self.
Yeah. So something that Paul Thompson talked about yesterday on the podcast, by the way, for the audience, if you haven't heard that yet, go back. It was live in the group. So go back and listen to that. He talked about something that I have on our family values sheet. It's like a 27-page Google Doc where everything that I learn, I add to that, which is my legacy document. And they're addressed to my kids' email addresses, and they're a Google Doc that my kids share with me. And obviously my kids are 7.5 and 3.5. However, my daughter knows about her empowerment doc, is what we call it. And I have something on there, AIIY, as the top thing. AIIY, and she knows exactly what that is. Always invest in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And Paul talked about that yesterday. I said, what's the number one piece of advice? And he said, always invest in you. Always invest in yourself. And so our job, our mission here at Flip Trader is to help real estate investors level up their life and their business and have that balanced life and have that sustainable legacy through intentional learning and leverage, right? Like this. And I think this mission is really starting to pick up traction. And that's why we're going to start to bring other things in to get people more and more and more, because we are quickly becoming the leading authority in the real estate investor training and education space, not just in the business. It's the real estate investor training and education space, not just the business. It's the actual person who's the investor, who is the driver and the operator of the machinery. Because if you could have the most beautiful, incredible piece of equipment out there, and there's nobody to operate the machine, or the operator makes really improper or really non-serving choices with that beautiful piece of machinery, or only uses 2% of it, then what good is it? Exactly. So I'm loving, Yun, we had the most amount of people on this than we have ever had in the last 4 weeks. So this is picking up speed.
I love this because right now, just to share with you, I'm in Florida at a mastermind because I invest in myself. And just like you said, it literally has given me the greatest amount of return on investment, right? The greatest. And there is nothing more exciting than really self-discovery of yourself and your true potential. And I always say this, the more I know, the more I don't know. And what I truly mean by that is the more that I learn about myself and learn about others and learn about this world, the more that I know that there's so much more to learn. And that curiosity is so exciting because I feel like I'm just open to receive and learn all the time. Like, and I'm at an amazing board of advisors mastermind. By the way, if anyone is interested, mention my name. Like, it's an amazing. I'm surrounded by global entrepreneurs who are heart-centered that want to make an impact in this entire planet.
Yes.
When you're surrounded by energy like that, okay, if we understand everything is energy, which is vibration and frequency, and we shift our energy, then our reality has no option but to shift. Right? So many people want things to change, but they're not willing to change.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's so important to like, I love yesterday's piece of advice because I'm just going to echo that. Invest in yourself and know that you're worthy of it, because we're giving this out for free, right? We're giving this out for free, and it's to only plant the seeds. And
for now,
people are saying, wow, you see, I love this. I love this. Plant the seeds, open up your mind, but invest in yourself. Because what do people do? They don't value free. But if you invest into it, you show up for yourself. And not only that, you tell your higher self, you're worthy of it. You're worthy of it. You're worthy of it. And then you start, yes, it's self-love. Yes.
You know what I got tired of, Young? What I got tired of, and I want to see if this resonates with the people still watching. What I got tired of was looking to the other side of the canyon, knowing for a fact my life should be there. Yet and pining over it and being angry that I wasn't there, right? It's like the gap in the gain conversation. Yet I wasn't making the moves or doing the work to build the bridge to get there, to bridge that gap. The stuff that we're doing here, that is the bridge gapper. That is the gap bridger, whatever, however you say it. It is the bridge across the gap to get to where you know you're supposed to be. And it's so simple. It's not that easy because you have to face your shit. You got to face your demons. You got to face your fears. However, I don't know about any of you guys listening, and I really don't want to live with the regret that I could have been bigger, better, faster, stronger, impacted more people. And I was my own bottleneck in my way, holding me back from what the world was due from me and what I was truly capable of. And I just wasn't okay with that. And that big thought process of the regret that I would feel in the future, that inspired and motivated me into action, especially with my children watching.
So there's like the phrase that I love, and I know our community really, I've been saying this for several years, and actually about 2 years now. And because words, we cast spells into our reality, if you will. Words are so important. And so I have been saying simple and easy, because when I used to say simple, not easy, or simple, not easy, right? I didn't like the fact that I created this kind of hurdle. And the reason why I say simple and easy, you do have to face the things, but I got to share with you, and this is where I say simple and easy comes into play. It's easier and simpler to live this way versus live in the current status, suppressing your emotions and not allowing, just like you said, not allowing and wondering what if. That's hard. Living that way is hard. And another thing that I want to hit upon before we end, we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. So if you want certain things, we have to become that person that's ready to receive those things. It's so important. That law of attraction is like tossed around everywhere. I think it's causing people a lot of chaos and confusion. We don't attract what we want. We attract what we are.
Yeah. And a note to the team who's listening to this, cut that clip and make it a incredible short right now. Like they're listening when after this is done recording. That is so clutch. That's so key. I'm so glad that you pointed that out. We don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. And that's why this
and then it becomes simple.
So important. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Become
Yeah. You're
who
right.
you want to
You're
be,
right.
right? Become who you want to be to attract. And another thing, we mentioned this last time, but just to reiterate, if you live a comparative life, you lose every single time. When you
Mm-hmm.
live from creation, knowing that you were born as a creator and that abundance is your rightful duty to receive it all, wow, it becomes
Yeah.
unstoppable. But the reason why we are programmed to compare is because we've literally been programmed that way. But keep this in mind. You can't get an image or a desire. You can't get an image in your mind or a desire in your heart that you're not capable of having or accomplishing. The
Yeah.
only thing that separates that lifestyle in you is you. So make that decision today that you're worthy of it, because I believe you're worthy of it, and then go make it happen and just become the richest possible person that you can possibly be to live your full expression and create that ripple effect around the entire planet. Oh, love it.
Yes. And we're going to end on that very powerful note. Jan, thank you so much again for your wisdom, your time, your energy. It's very infectious. I think you and I are just very hands all over the screen and very intense. That I love when somebody else is on screen matching, or you actually exceed my energy and intensity, and are very passionate about helping humans achieve their fullest potential. As
Yes.
simple as that sounds, like it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I put this together, but it's also very cool to be a part of this. So I really appreciate that. And before we jump, I've been kind of teasing this out. I'm going to tease this out over the next week too. We are putting together a membership program that's going to give everybody more. So just keep that in mind. Look for my post when we start posting it out there. You'll see it. It'll be click encouraging. I'll tell you that. It's so much value. It'll be click encouraging. You're going to want it, because if you want more access, Jan, if you want more access to what she's doing, if you want to be able to speak openly right on with a very small group, like that's what we're going to offer, because that's what our members are asking for. And that's what we're going to deliver as we become the leading authority in the real estate investor training and education space. So, Jan, thank you again so much.
So much gratitude for you, Ian, and keep on stretching that imagination, right? Keep on doing it, because man, oh man, it's fun. It's a fun ride. Enjoy it,
It is. And Flip Trader Group, thank you so much for being here and supporting us, and having some vulnerability of just getting on this call and making the time for yourself, making yourself important and a focus today, and being selfless to spend this time on you, to grow you, to be creating whatever you want and attracting whatever you want for the world. So we appreciate you. We love you. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Yes.